everyone, it's John from What Up, and welcome back to another video. Tonight we're talking Wheel of Time show news. We're going to start off with an article by Wotseries where they talk about filming locations in Morocco. Then we'll go on to some social media posts from the cast from a party they had. And then, finally, we'll talk about Marcus Rutherford's body double. He recently released some photos of a photo shoot he did with Amazon quite some time ago. So we're going to go through all that this evening. Now, if you're new to the channel and you don't know what we do here, we cover Wheel of Time show news. So anything and everything related to the Sony and Amazon production, that's what we talk about. News, leaks, rumors, you name it, we cover it here. Now, if it's a slow news week or there's not much out about the show, we also put out a ton of other Wheel of Time content, including explained videos. So if you like anything to do with the Wheel of Time, make sure you click that subscribe button and the notification bell, because we put out a ton of Wheel of Time content here. Now, before we get into the video, spoiler warning, in this video we're talking about certain elements of Season 2 of Sony and Amazon's Wheel of Time show. Now, I may ruin elements from the books in doing so, so if you haven't read The Eye of the World, The Great Hunt, and The Dragon Reborn, be forewarned, I'm going to ruin minor plot points and character arcs from those three novels. As well, if I happen to get certain guesses about Season 2 right, well, I'm giving you a spoiler warning for that too, just apologizing in advance. Alright, all of that being said, let's get on to our video. So we're starting out with an article by Wotseries.com about filming and locations, and it's pretty interesting. There's a lot of stuff in here that gives us a little bit of information about what may happen for the mid part of Season 2. Now, I've left a link to that article down below in the description box if you folks want to take a look at it when you're done the video. Make sure you read it, bookmark their page, head back a lot, because they put out a ton of Wheel of Time content, a lot of leaks and exclusives, and they haven't been wrong yet. I'll also leave a link to their Twitter down below in the description box if you folks want to follow them over there. And while you're doing that, make sure you follow me too. I put out a ton of Wheel of Time content on Twitter as well. Now, this particular article focuses on filming and filming locations. Now, we know for a fact that right now Sony and Amazon are filming Block 4, that's episodes 7 and 8. We just don't know exactly when they're going to be done. We think it'll be sometime around the end of March, but they're being even more secretive with their Season 2 stuff than they were with the Season 1 stuff. So we know less now about Season 2 than we did at this point about Season 1, which is, it's pretty interesting. They kind of doubled down on the secrecy. Now, the people over at Wotseries.com were able to find out that a couple of weeks ago, people traveled to Morocco to CLA and Atlas Studios to start setting up for filming for the Wheel of Time. In fact, there was a news article written by a local paper and put online, and they talked just a bit about how many people are coming. Now, they say that there's about 180 people coming on March 2nd for filming the first week in March, which Wotseries.com estimates to be maybe March 7th to 11th-ish in that area, and that they're going to be filming probably within the studios. Now, CLA and Atlas Studios have a bunch of pre-built sets. They have a giant Jerusalem set they've built, they have a Fortress set, and they have a galley set as well that was used for Ben-Hur. Now, these are pre-built sets, and they can be tinkered with and toyed around and changed just a bit for different productions, but they also have 370 acres of backlot to build sets in, to film things in, and they can do some massive battle scenes there. So there's been a lot of speculation of what they possibly could film here, but the funny part is you'd think that they're filming now for Block 4, that this would be for Block 4 as well. Now, the director for Block 3, Mahavrillo, and I do apologize if I said that name wrong, has been in Morocco and has been posting pictures of the local wildlife. So these are Argan tree goats that they put up on their Instagram, and then some people were commenting on it, and they came back and like, yep, I'm in Morocco, Argan tree goats as far as the eye can see. So essentially, we know that the director for Block 3, episodes 5 and 6, is in Morocco right now, or has been for quite some time, and that they're going to be filming there for at least a few weeks. So they're going to film at Atlas and CLA Studios for about a week. After that, they're going to go to Meritech. They're going to film there. Then they're going to film on the coast at Takala. And I probably said those names wrong, and I do apologize because I'm terrible at pronouncing stuff. Now, the interesting bit here is, what are they filming there? Now, we know they're probably not going to build brand new sets because that incurs a lot of cost. And, of course, with the budget of Wheel of Time, even though it seemed fairly big until we compared it to Lord of the Rings and some of the other big fantasy epics, they're probably going to want to save as much money as they can. So if they're building a set from scratch, it would most likely have been at Jordan Studios in Prague. So they're probably, and this is what Wotseries.com thinks is going to happen, and I think too, is they're going to use one of those pre-built sets, either the Jerusalem set, the Fortress set, or the Galley set. Now, if they're filming there for about a week, and they have 180 people coming in, that's cast and crew and a bunch of other people, then they're going to move on to 2 other locations. These are probably going to be fit into episode 5 and 6 because of the director. So how is this going to work? Now, Morocco is beautiful, and the landscapes do remind me a lot of the Waste, and there's been a lot of speculation that perhaps, just perhaps, that they're filming Waste shots there, which makes sense because Rafe Judkins, the showrunner, has said on a couple of occasions that we're going to see Avienda in season 2. She's already been cast, and we're going to see a lot more Aiel than we expect. So my guess is there's going to be some off-script shots, so things that are not quite part of the books, but would fit into the show very well. Sort of like the Logain storyline in season 1. I'm really hoping that we get more of Avi, her journey to become a Wise One's apprentice. All of that stuff would be really neat to see, especially if they're going to shoot some waste shots to Morocco. Now, the only other things that I can think of that they're doing here, they have a coastline, they have a fortress, there's other stuff. So it's quite possible they're shooting Stoneatir, Falme, maybe the Shan-Chen ships off the coastline. All of that stuff is entirely possible what they're filming here. All right, so I want you folks to keep something in mind here. The fact that we think that Madeline Madden, who plays Egwene, Priyanka Bose, who plays Alana, and Hamid Animashan, who plays Loyal, are probably not going to be at the Morocco shoots. I'm not saying 100% they're not going to be, but they've all posted things to social media indicating that they're home. That doesn't mean they've wrapped for the season. I have no idea if they have or not. However, it's likely that they're not going to shoot in Morocco. With that being the case, does it affect what they're going to shoot there, how the storyline goes? I have no idea, because the Falme storyline, although it does factor heavily around Madeline's character Egwene, a lot of the stuff can be filmed without her, because there's outside scenes, there's scenes with Rand, there's battle scenes, there's all kinds of different things that happen in Falme that don't involve Egwene. Her parts could have been filmed in studio earlier, or maybe they'll be filmed later on. I really don't know. Now, Priyanka Bose, who plays Alana, she's kind of a wild card because, let's face it, the Alana we see in the show is not the Alana in the books in any way, shape, or form. She's an amalgam of a whole bunch of different Aes Sedai, and her storyline could be basically anything at this point. We really don't know how she's going to fit into season 2. Same with Hamid Animashan Loyal. His character's storyline for season 1 was vastly changed from what happened in the book series, so the chances that it'll be the same for season 2, what we're going to see in The Great Hunt and The Dragon Reborn, is probably slim to none. So, even though it does affect what we think might happen from the storylines of the books, chances are it may not at all. I really don't know. So I want to hear your thoughts in the comments down below, what you think they're filming in Morocco, how it fits into episode 5 and 6, and what we're going to see. We're going to see Avi. Will we see her introduced in episode 5, perhaps? That would be absolutely amazing. And I know for sure that Rafe has said that she, amongst other Aiel, have been cast for season 2, which is kind of neat. Now we're going to talk just a little bit about social media posts here. We have the cast having a party. Now, this was put up in a story, so it was gone after 24 hours, but a bunch of people found it. I screenshotted it. A few other content creators did as well. And some people from Twitter at time, like Uno's Eye Patch here, they got a hold of it and they retweeted it, regrammed it, put it pretty much everywhere. And that's generally what happens, because if the cast or crew puts up any pictures and we see them, they're pretty much everywhere before the end of the day. Now, this particular party, it doesn't really give us any information about the show at all, but it's kind of neat to see the cast interacting. We have Zoe Robbins here, who plays Nynaeve, hanging out with Donald Finn, who plays Matt Cawthon. He has been recast, by the way, if you're new to the party and haven't found that out yet. Barney Harris is no longer playing Matt. It's going to be Donald Finn, an Irish actor. We have Jennifer Chian Garcia, who plays Lyanna, along with Kay Alexander. They're kind of hanging out and having fun. And then we have Taylor Napier, who plays Maxim, one of Alana's warders, with Kathy Fleets, who plays Leandrin. Now, it's really neat to see these actors and actresses kind of interacting, putting stuff up on social media. It gives us some hints as to who's in Prague, who's still filming, what they're doing at the time, but it also lets us know that they're all becoming friends, they're kind of hanging out, which is a great thing for the production, because let's face it, if they are friends and they're able to hang out outside of work, they're probably having a good time at work as well. All right, now we're going to talk about this gentleman right here. This is Marcus Rutherford's body double. So Marius Mullins is a stuntman and an actor, and he was cast as Marcus Rutherford's body double for season 1 of Sony and Amazon's Wheel of Time show. Now, he did a photo shoot at the time and wasn't able to share it for obvious reasons. Most cast, crew, and people involved in production, if they have things like this, they can't share them due to NDAs and different things that Sony and Amazon require them to sign until much, much later after they actually happen. So this particular photo shoot happened a long time ago. It's not new, but it is interesting to see because we got a look at who they cast as Marcus's body double. Now, I can see why they did it. He's got a huge, tall, imposing figure, and he probably stood in for Marcus in any number of scenes for season 1, although we're not really sure which ones. But his costume, absolutely top-notch, and I could definitely envision him as being on set in place of Marcus. Now, that's all the news we have for you today. I thought that last little bit was interesting. Anytime I see stuff like that, I like to put it in a video, because even though it's not new or you know, breaking news, it's something interesting that we don't normally get to see. Unless you follow basically all of the cast and crew on Instagram, you're going to miss a lot of the stuff, especially the more interesting bits. So I like to include it in these videos. Now, let me know what you thought of the video in the comments down below. What do you think about the filming in Morocco? What do you think they're filming currently right now in Prague for Block 4, Episode 7 and 8? And when do you think the show's going to air? Now, we've been hearing a ton of rumors. It's Q1, Q2, 2023, but no one really knows for sure. That's all up in the air, of course. We just know that it's going to be after Lord of the Rings is done, and Lord of the Rings premieres September 2nd of this year. I mean, I'm super hopeful we'll still get it in November like last year, but I really doubt that. I think it's going to be much later, so there's some breathing room between the two, but let me know what you folks think down below. All right, all of that being said, thank you so very much for sticking with me here to the very end, and here's to many more.